You mentioned the idea of potentially transition for Liverpool, and I don't disagree, especially because we all know Trent's leaving and he's a fantastic player, and we know that his departure will mean that Liverpool have to change how they play. But we can't talk about the Arsenal game without talking about his reception from the fans at Anfield, because Conor Bradley started at right back, but then in the second half, Trent was brought on. And if we're being generous, you could say that the reception he got from Anfield was mixed, but there were definitely a lot of boos. I'm not sure I've ever seen something quite like that at Anfield. Certainly in the context of the club, it felt like a very historic moment. I know that you've spoken about this already, but what have you made about the outcry from people outside of the Liverpool sphere saying that the reaction from Liverpool fans was disgraceful? And because a lot of people have had their say on this.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is only boos to a footballer. It's not kind of, there are moments where fans can go too far and do the wrong thing and deserve condemnation. I'm not sure booing a footballer is necessarily that. It's not kind of like booing people taking the knee or anything genuinely serious like that. It's more the pantomime version of booing, isn't it? It's and for me, I wrote a piece about this yesterday. I think people have kind of just completely misunderstood where the frustration comes from. At the end of the day, I think there's a lot of justification to why people are annoyed. I think it goes back to things that Trent has said in the past in terms of that, Liverpool is the only club for him and winning means more for him. He wants to be a one club man. The fact it's Real Madrid who have knocked Liverpool out of Europe so frequently in recent years and have been a real thorn in the side. And have been an obstacle to Liverpool extending their lead as the most successful club in England, and they probably will be again down the line. By the way, so he's gone to join that. So you kind of and you think about his celebration at West Ham. I think in hindsight now, knowing that he was negotiating with Real Madrid at that point, that looks really poor. And yeah, he's a local lad who's been kind of saying that he's living everybody's dream and acknowledging that, and then has decided he wants a new challenge. Now, I'm one of those people who understands why he wants that, by the way, as well. The cultural experience to go out there, learn a new language, go and win a league that you can't win while you play for Liverpool, do all that. Absolutely. I 100% understand the appeal of that. And I think personally would find that hard to turn down. But equally, if you have said all these things and you have very much built your personal brand on being Mr. Liverpool and wanting to be kind of the Steven Gerrard heir, then you're going to get held to a certain standard. And there are going to be consequences, which include, the mural he's got painted around Anfield on Sybil Road will probably come down, won't it? He's not going to be as received as well as he would have been whenever he comes back. And yeah, fans are going to be very unhappy about it. So, he's taking that decision with his eyes wide open and probably knowing that a lot of this was coming. But I'm amazed it's kind of surprised other people. And I think they maybe don't understand where that frustration's come from and some of the things that have happened in the build-up, because he's not been paying much attention to it at all, really. And I didn't even mention there, of course, there will be some frustration about the fact Liverpool don't get a fee, and it strengthens Real Madrid for free, and it weakens Liverpool, and they have no ability no cash generated by it to reinvest in the team. So all these factors coming together, and I get the frustration. And still, even saying that, I still think there was a split in the crowd as well. Ones who, I've got friends who were in the car on the day, and I know one who booed, one who did nothing, and one who applauded him. So I think that kind of shows you. But the boos are always very loud, aren't they? And that's the thing. So I think there was a real split in terms of how people want to receive it. But I totally, from my point of view, I understand the frustrations, really, and I think I don't think it's right for people who don't aren't can't quite as close to it to maybe weigh in and say that they find these boos unacceptable, because I don't think they know the full story, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned there about how Trent might have expected a negative reaction, but I still think on the day he was a little taken aback by the reception he had. And that leads into the next question I have, which is, do you think that we'll see Trent in a Liverpool shirt again? Because Liverpool play Brighton away from home, and then they play Crystal Palace on the final day of the season at Anfield. And obviously you'd want him to be there to celebrate the title, and because he has played a part in that. But can you start him against Crystal Palace? Can you start him against Brighton? Or is this something very much he'll be left on the bench, or even just make an appearance for 5-10 minutes?
Well, Arne Slot said after the match, didn't he, that he kind of wouldn't be influenced by that and would prefer to use him because he helped Liverpool to win games. But I have to say, I fundamentally disagree with him about that. I don't think Trent should take to the pitch because, I mean, he said in your first question about this, really, that it's an unprecedented situation. I can't really think of many situations where a Liverpool player is being booed by Liverpool fans. But equally, I think we all acknowledge that if Liverpool had drawn Real Madrid in the Champions League next season, Trent Alexander-Arnold would have got booed when he came back because the whole thing will be put him off his game. Let's make it difficult for him. And the thing is, you know, there's not a comparable situation in terms of us knowing that the player is going beforehand. You know, it was done in the summer, wasn't it? That deal was cut. Similar with Steve McManaman. You know, you knew they weren't signing new contracts and therefore there was a possibility, but it wasn't confirmed. And that uncertainty always helps. It's why Trent was having his name sung by the cop only a couple of weeks ago, and same at Leicester, because nobody fully knew. So the point at which everybody knew, you know, these people are already seeing him in that Real Madrid shirt now. He isn't a Liverpool player. We're giving minutes to someone who isn't a Liverpool player. What's the point in that? And why do we have to kind of embrace him as one of our own anymore? So I totally understand that. And the thing is, you know, that's why I just don't think he should be anywhere near these last couple of games, maybe even not in the squad, which is, I know it's a sad way for it to end, but I just think for me, I thought that the party atmosphere that was at Anfield on Sunday was phenomenal and one of the best I've seen. And then, you know, as he comes on in 67th minute or something like that, it was just put a pin in the balloon immediately, and nothing should be allowed to take away from these brilliant moments and this achievement this season, and the fact fans have waited so long for this. And if there's any risk of that by involving Trent either off the bench or from the start, just don't do it. You know, and this isn't hindsight, by the way. I had a conversation with a reporter before the game on Sunday, and I said Quansah should be the sub here at right back if Conor Bradley can't complete the 90, because you could see it coming a million miles off that there would be some kind of discord and that it would affect the atmosphere, and it did. And you know, as much as Slot will say in the post match that he thinks, you know, he wants to use the player to win the game, I actually think he was kind of, at best, you could say he was net neutral for the team, because yes, he's got this quality, but the way he affected the atmosphere did not help the team to win the game. And so when you throw those things together, and the fact that you don't want to take any of the shine off this achievement and these, you know, these last couple of games that should be big celebrations, I personally don't think he should be anywhere near it.